whoever is joining. Um, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome back to another capacity building session. We just ended our first task, which was the climate action task, and now we're starting a task that I feel like is probably not just a task, but I would say it's a very good learning experience and kind of like a community service experience for all of you. Um, so we've named this task differently abled, not disabled. Um, and I'll tell you why. Last year, we were again joined by Miss Aisha, who delivered a really beautiful session explaining her journey and her brother's journey with EdDef, Abekau, and how they're trying to build an inclusive community in Pakistan. I think, again, the way Ma'am Noor mentioned in previous sessions as well, that you will get to speak about topics and learn about topics here that you won't get to know about in the traditional classroom. And this is exactly one of those topics that we normally don't hear in classrooms, right? So I'm gonna do less of the talking this time. I know Aisha has a lot to share with you guys, a lot to teach you guys, and I would really want you guys to listen very, very carefully, not just for your task, but for your overall understanding as well, because as Yemers and as humans as well, we have a responsibility to make this community more inclusive. So please welcome Miss Aisha, who is the founder of EdDev and Abekau. And yeah, Ma'am Aisha, over to you. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for being with
Zainab.
us today.
Thank you. So I want this session to be, very, very interactive. I don't want to be the one talking only. So I'm just gonna share a couple of slides and, just to show you guys what exactly I do and who I am. I think one thing I learned from Noor, because not because Noor is right in front of me, because she has been she's the very first mentor that during that program, I think back in 2019 when she was assigned to us. uh, at that time I didn't have any idea about the business, how to run a business, and because now I'm a professional project manager, but at that time I was a bioscientist working in a lab and, isolated, coming from a very isolated environment, coming from a genetics lab. And but I realized that, I don't belong there. There was something missing in my life, even though I was really good at, doing all sort of testing and everything. I was also passionate about, but I think there was something missing. Then I started working in a non-profit sector, and during that time I realized the power of, managing the projects, because I helped an organization pioneered Pakistan's first newborn screening lab. And then I, started managing their centers all across Pakistan. But during that phase, I realized there is a very pressing issue. So by birth, I'm a coda. I don't know if any one of you has watched that movie Coda. Anyone? It's CODA. So CODA means child of a deaf adult. I would highly encourage, if you guys get time, not on the weekdays, especially on the weekend, go and watch that movie. Not because I am a CODA. So you would understand how there are so many codas in Pakistan, and how does it feel like to be a coda. And then it's I think it's that movie is like almost a true interpretation of my life, how I lived up until now, and I'm living my life. So by coda means child of a deaf adult, as I shared earlier. So my parents are deaf and my siblings are hard of hearing, so I'm the only hearing person in my family. But I wouldn't be wrong if I would say sign language is my very first language I learned when I was born. And then, of course, slowly, while growing up, I started learning other languages too. So it is something very close to my heart. So back in 2019, right during, sorry, 2020 it was 2019, we started making the food truck. We launched our startup right after COVID when it started. And because we made such a huge investment, we were like, we have to do it and we cannot delay it. And we had to launch it during the COVID time. And we were very reluctant about launching our startup, A Big How, during the COVID phase. So A Big How is a brainchild of, so we are again three siblings. Two of my siblings, they are hard of hearing, but they are very Um, they are very competent, and one of them is Pakistan's first hard of hearing individual with the ACCA degree. So this trio, we always make a very good team. So I am the, person who talks a lot. I just talk. Wherever I go, I just pitch businesses and stuff. But the real work, I think my rest of the team and my siblings, who are also the co-founders, they do. So of course, my brother has ACCA degree, so he manages the finance. And then the creative guy is the youngest one. If you have youngest sibling at home, you can say that, usually the youngest ones are, I'm not being biased, but I don't know, I've observed it. So, they are usually the most creative. So he's the one designing all the logos. And I was so skeptical about the name. Even I used to, whenever I had to pitch initially, I used to feel so embarrassed. Hello, everyone. My name is Aisha Raza, and I'm the co founder of Abe Khao. This was a time when nobody knew about Abe Khao. And everybody, there was one time I found this judge right sitting right in front of me. He said, "This is exactly in Urdu." He said, "Ki kitna badtameez ho wana na." I said, "Yeah." I was like, okay, I don't know why I was saying sorry to him, but a lot of people, they found it very catchy, very attractive. And so quickly about Abhay Khao. Abhay Khao is Pakistan's first cloud kitchen-based model, food takeaway and delivery platform on a food truck model, creating economic opportunities for the deaf and hard of hearing youth in Pakistan. We started off with one food truck and then we expanded. And right after our journey, we were featured, as you can see on the screen. I wanted to show you the food truck that we were featured on multiple national and international platforms. So at Abikhav, the customers, they are all hearing customers like you. They place order in sign language, and this is how we are bridging the communication gap between the hearing and the deaf communities. And it's quite a fun experience for a lot of people. But I would suggest, I would share a few videos. I'll play a few videos, but I'll also share a few videos with Noor. So we have trained over 1,500 individuals. That is something we do apart from running the food business. We also conduct training on sign language sensitization to in a corporate sector. But of course, this is something, if I would say we have served 150,000 customers, so these are not just customers, we have also served them and sensitized them about sign language. That, and there is not a single individual on our mobile food vehicle who is hearing. So I would ask another question just to make this session extra interactive. Has anyone of you gotten an opportunity to interact with deaf community ever in life? Noor, I know. Noor has done a project with me where she taught deaf individuals. And I don't know, I felt like मैंने नूर पे कोई बहुत जुल्म कर दिया. And when it was her last session, and she was literally in tears, and I'm like, Noor, what happened? I was so scared what happened, and she loved it. And I think, Iram, you have interacted with the deaf community, right?
Yeah, not directly, but indirectly. And if you allow me, yeah, I would love to share the story of them.
Yeah, sure.
So the story is that I'm basically from Color Kahar, और वहाँ पे there was a home जहाँ पे a mother was living with three sons, and they all were like deaf, but the talent they have and the hard work they do and the smart work they actually show in their field, that was really amazing. And they were feel like famous in our whole town, that how much intelligent they are and how much like we can say that how keenly they observe the society and how keenly they do and they put their efforts to do the work. That's my indirect
Thank
experience.
you. Thank you, Iram. We have a
Welcome.
student in our current project. It reminded me, she is also from Color Kahar. Sorry, that's my screen. So, yeah, I'm so glad you shared your experience. And then we have Hadi. Yeah, Hadi, you want to share something about your interaction with deaf community?
Yeah, so I did an internship last year at Deaf Reach with deaf kids. And honestly, one of my favorite experiences,
Mm.
their ability to recognize that they aren't that different and they can still have the opportunity to learn was
And
so
it,
heart filling.
mm.
Yeah, it was
The
really
kids are
nice.
so cute.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sure
are.
you they are, and so of course I was so young, and being a coda, I didn't realize kids look so cute when they communicate in sign language. Even they are deaf, they look so cute when they move their hands, little hands. And then through Deaf Reach I realized that, and I think it's an amazing initiative. As I shared earlier, this has been our journey. Just few how we started. Of course, this was the problem started right in my house, when I saw a lot of friends of my in my community, because of course my siblings are hard of hearing, my parents are deaf, they were majorly unemployed, and they keep asking us, can you take our CV, can you get ask somebody to get us a job, this and that. And this was such a pressing issue. This was a time when even banking sectors were not hiring. I know some of you must be aware that banking sector is hiring these days. But in 2018 we started in the form of push cart, and then of course it in a very hidden nook of Islamabad. But officially, we launched our business like in a form of food truck into by the end of 2019. We got it into incubated at National Incubation Center and multiple platform. This is quite an old presentation, but within 1 year, we got multiple grants and award. One of them yeah, was Standard Chartered Women in Technology, where we built an app to make the platform more inclusive for the deaf community, the point of sale system and all the administrative system. And in 2022, we got a chance to pitch a big how at Silicon Valley. It was like, a lot of people said, how can be a food business? How can a food business make its way to a Silicon Valley? That was something I realized later, that this is the power of the impact. And while I was doing a big how was more of an accident. It was like a baby project we wanted just to do during the summer. When we were doing the push cart part. Of course, later when we started the food truck, of course, we invested a lot of money. But while doing a big how, we identified one more problem during the COVID. Noor has been a part of those projects, that a lot of individuals who are at home, they lack basic skill set despite of having the undergrad degree. They are unable to read and write due to the lack of quality education system. And that was a point when we thought we should launch EdDef. EdDef started as a project of Abhigao, but now EdDef is an online learning platform. We are still working on it. So we have recently done a very amazing project with the US State Department in February 2025. Yeah. So where we got more than, I think, 800 applications from all across Pakistan. I have this video to show you. Just let me quickly see if how many slides are there. Yeah. So I can show you actually. Sorry guys, you have to see my Canva, but you can actually see. Uh, yeah. I want to show you the impact of that project. So yeah, I recently got my eyes laser surgery, so I didn't get a time to compile all those presentations. So I can show you the amazing faces. Um, at Def, I would love to show you the team. So at Def, we started as a, fellowship. We started, so we have 3 modules. So currently we are working on a fellowship model. So what exactly we want to build? We are building a course era for the deaf community in simple. But we are also focusing on the fellowship program to help them with the job readiness, employability skills. So they get themselves enrolled in our fellowship program. Then we prepare them for the interviews and then get them onboarded. So for that project, we had like some amazing partners on board, some leading, like including HPL, Tapal. And I can, now because the project has almost finalized, and it was during that time when Mr. Trump said, no no DAI. So I don't know. I had to defend my project, and I said it's not DEI, it's A, which is missing, which is the accessibility. And we are working on the education and accessibility. So this is our amazing team for this project and another project which we are doing. So any project which we do, we have, usually when we are working for the deaf community, we usually forget this thing that we do not have any representation from the community. So we make sure we have the community leaders on board. Like Noor knows this thing that Jawad is hard of hearing and Atif is deaf. So they are the showrunner basically, in a form that they are the ones advising us what to do and how to do. Not we are just pitching as per their advice, because in the end they are the most experienced individual. Just because they cannot hear, it doesn't mean that they know their community better than enough. So we had some amazing interpreters on board, and these are some volunteers. What I wanted to share, some amazing trainers we had. I wanted to show you this slide. uh why? Because when once we got the grant, we were very confused. How would we reach out to the entire Pakistani community of deaf individuals? We were so confused. We were so confused because I had this feeling I want representation from each and every city. I was very much, into it. Now, I don't want like superficial cities like Karachi, Lahore, and Islamabad. And my brother was like, Aisha, this is first project. Whatever you're gonna get, you have to find peace with it. And I'm like, no, I need equal representation even from Balochistan. So how we made it possible? We requested all the community leaders, and even Ali. The first one is from Deaf Reach. So to make a shout out videos in sign language, because we knew even if we do a paid marketing, if we would have done it, and even if we have the budget, it would not work, because this is something which would be impactful if it's coming from their own leader. So these are the amazing leaders. And surprisingly, we had this KPI during our uh, how should I say, in in our grant, that we have to get like I think 300 to 400 application, but we got 550 application within just 5 days because we were short on time. Because of the DAI, we had to expedite the project, and we were like, jaldi jaldi, we have to get students on board, and otherwise, I think the number would have exceeded 2,000. And then we shortlisted 84 participants, sorry 84 we got application from 84 cities of Pakistan, and 559, it was such a hard decision. 45% were female. What I want to show you is that this look at this, Balochistan. And it was like a dream come true for me. And I still remember I was about to, cry that day when a father, he brought his daughter all the way from Balochistan, and they were staying at Nust University in Islamabad. We made sure we give them very secure environment, and this was happening for the first time in Pakistan. It hasn't been happened before, the fellowship and the quality we never compromised. But as having Azad Kashmir representation from Azad Kashmir, Balochistan, it was so overwhelming. Even Gilgit Baltistan, it was so overwhelming for me that I made sure that all get an equal opportunity. I want to show their faces too. These are some of the amazing faces who got recently. These are the guys, and I want to show you. And I wasn't expecting that we would have a girl from Balochistan and Gilgit, Asma Jan from Gilgit. So, and I'm gonna show you the video in the end too as well. So we majorly covered. I don't want to make this presentation or session very boring, but we covered all the skills, either it be employability skills, freelancing skills, or hard skills, soft skills. We tried our best to give them a good learning experience during their stay in Islamabad. And yeah, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because I want to make sure, yeah. So back to you guys. So this is just some of the work I am doing here and there. But the thing is that I know with if you are with Noor for a very long time, entrepreneurship is all about identifying a problem right in front of you and finding a solution for it, and then uh, making uh, making life easier for people around you. It's not that difficult. We may make it very complicated, to start a business, but trust me, just focus on identifying problems around you. Even Uber is doing that, Food Panda is doing that. They are just making your life a lot more easier. But when we talk about impactful businesses, so we are talking about creating an impact along with generating revenue. So this is something I learned very hard way. I know I have being a coder, I always had this soft corner. I'm doing majority of the thing, but without I think we have a question. No, sorry. Yeah, it's you. Sorry.
No, it's just from me, Aisha. I wanted actually, I'm just loving this, but you've
No, no,
taken
no.
me, you've taken me down memory lane back in
Hmm.
2019. And I
Hmm.
remember जब मेरी और आपकी पहली मुलाकात हुई थी, which I want to question,
Hmm.
to put it to all of the Yemas, all of the fellows who are here today. और अगर कैमरे खुल जाएंगे तो मुझे ज्यादा मजा आएगा और आयशा को ज्यादा मजा आएगा, बिकॉज अभी हम
Hmm.
आपसे एक प्रैक्टिकल एक्टिविटी कराना चाहते हैं, ताकि
Hmm.
एंड आयशा इज गोना लीड दैट. आई एम जस्ट गोना गिव यू अ ट्रिगर. So the first
Hmm.
time that me and Aisha met, she gave me two scenarios. I don't think she remembers it. I remember it vividly. Maybe she would. So the first thing she said ke, "Acha Noor, if you go to a restaurant और आपने वहां पे जाके ऑर्डर करना है एक बर्गर, और आपने बर्गर जो वेटर को ऑर्डर करना है उसमें उसको बताना है कि इसमें टमाटर नहीं चाहिए मुझे, एंड यू आर somebody who is deaf, how are you going to explain it? So go ahead. Can we have some people who are going to explain to the waiter कि इसमें टमाटर नहीं डालना?
Yeah, that would be a fun activity just to wake you guys up.
Yeah, who wants to do that? How are you going to explain? This is on a lighter note. We'll take it up a notch. ठीक है, आप कैसे टमाटर आप ड्रॉ करके बताएंगे, आप उसको शेप बताएंगे, अब वो गोल अगर आप कहेंगे तो वो तो
We're
किन्नू
going
भी
to
हो
show
सकता
them a
है.
picture. We're going to show them a picture on the phone of
ऑन
tomato.
द फोन, ओके
Yeah.
श्योर,
Smart.
कि ये नहीं डालना, बिल्कुल ठीक है, सही है कैरल, थैंक यू.
Hmm.
You're
राइट,
welcome.
बट it's gonna take you some time, right? And it's a
Hmm.
very very simple cheese. So this was the first thing that Aisha said to me. The second thing that she asked me was, when we get sick, तो हम डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं और हम डॉक्टर से जाके कहते हैं, अच्छा डॉक्टर साहब, मुझे बुखार भी हुआ हुआ है, मेरे गले में भी दर्द है, मुझे जुकाम भी हो रहा है, मेरा कान भी बंद है, मेरी टांग में भी दर्द है, ठीक है, एंड वी गिव द डॉक्टर as much details as possible. And she said that one of her first memories, when she was, I think 4 or 5, और अम्मी अम्मी की तबीयत खराब थी, आयशा या अब्बू की थी, आई एम फॉरगेटिंग नाउ, and
I think it was. Hmm.
she had to accompany as a 5-year-old child, kid, minor, to take Ammi to the doctor so that she can ask Ammi in sign language and explain to the doctor in words that what's going on with Ammi. Let that sink in for a bit, because that's the thing that got me connected with her for life, right? So आप imagine करो कि हम जब रोल रिवर्सल में आते हैं तो एक सिंपल सा टास्क जो था वो कितना डिफिकल्ट है, बिकॉज हमारी कम्युनिटीज उस चीज के ऊपर इंक्लूसिव नहीं है. डू यू गाइस अंडरस्टैंड, राइट, द इम्पैक्ट कहीं पे अगर आप लोगों ने, अब आयशा, आई वांट यू टू बिल्ड अप ऑन दिस एंड आई वांट यू टू टेल
Hmm.
एवरीबody, बिकॉज दैट इज माय फर्स्ट मेमोरी ऑफ इंटरेक्टिंग
Hmm.
विद आयशा, राइट. पहली
Hmm.
बर्गर वाली तो मैंने कहा, मैंने इस एग्जैक्टली कैरल की तरह कहा था, आई थिंक, यार फोन में गूगल करो, अच्छा इंटरनेट होगा, ये होगा वो होगा, तो उसमें दिखा लो, राइट. I want your thought process
Hmm.
on this, Aisha, and then there is one more instance that I want to tell everyone, which you and I experienced years later.
Yeah. So I would just like, a lot of people when they, ask me that, it's easy, हम बात लिख के भी तो communicate कर लेते, and I totally respect that. And this is usually people do, but there is no harm in making a little effort. Just go back home and search few Pakistan sign language, even now American sign language, because now we have a lot of Gen Z, very lot. So they know American Sign Language too. So it really makes them feel included. And when they know, "Okay, oh, he knows our language," it really makes their day. So whenever we have trainer, like Noor used to make a lot of, used to make a lot of effort to, communicate with them directly too. Even though we always have this interpreter besides her, but he always wanted to have that body language and sign language कि मैं खुद से बात करूं, and because we always wanted to make them included, and they have such a huge potential. This is what I realized while growing up with my siblings, that I don't think so they are missing out on anything. Just because they cannot hear, it doesn't mean that they should be lagging behind in life, and nobody should be. And this was the biggest motivation we had, that even when we are doing a climate project on climate change right now with British Council, we realize they are understanding the important and difficult technical stuff which they have never been taught before, because we do not have subjects related to science in a special education system, which is like very sad reality. And they are literally enjoying it. Carbon footprint and green economy, green jobs. I wish I could tell you guys, if you ask them these terminologies now. And one thing is that when we start looking at them with the lens that they're missing something, they are not. Honestly, we have not made this world inclusive enough for them, and that's
Absolutely.
where the problem is. And
Absolutely. And Aisha,
mhm.
we're talking about one aspect, and let's just ask everybody a question. So it's a slightly technical question, because देखें deaf के अंदर भी जो deaf community है, correct me if I'm wrong, Aisha, the last numbers that I have, we're around 1.2 million, yes, in Pakistan.
1.2 or 3 million, but with
1.2
also
million.
a different level of hearing
Different
loss. Yeah.
levels of hearing. That's exactly where I want to come around. देखो हमने उसको क्या, एक मैंने आप लोगों से अभी आज सुबह एक स्क्रीनशॉट एक पिक्चर का शेयर किया था, which is from that training session, teaching these kids about entrepreneurship, which Aisha was sharing. So I shared a picture, और उसमें हमने एक एक्टिविटी की थी जो कि आप लोगों ने भी अपनी सोसाइटी में सुना होगा ग्रोइंग अप, यार ये डेफ एंड डम है, सुना है ना ये फ्रेज, गूंगा बहरा, डेफ एंड डम, है ना? नाउ when we translate the literal meaning of dumb, what comes to your mind? Go ahead, use the chat function. बोंगा, incompetent, समझ बूझ नहीं है. डम की क्या मीनिंग होती है ना? बेवकूफ, right? Now imagine somebody, what Aisha is talking about is the privileged few who actually got access के वो एक स्पेशल स्कूल में जा सकते थे, राइट? या जिस तरह फैजान और जवाद पढ़े हैं, जो आयशा के ब्रदर्स हैं दोनों, वो प्रिविलेज्ड इनफ थे कि अंकल आंटी ने उनको भेजा इन स्कूल्स में so that they could carry on with their studies. मगर hundreds and thousands of stories, you guys, of women, of boys, जिनकी सारी families ने उनको as a useless part of a family member उन्होंने उनको साइड पे किया हुआ है कि यार ये क्या कर सकती है बच्ची, राइट? सो ये अगर बोल नहीं सकती तो इससे घर के काम करा लें, या इसकी किसी और डेफ पर्सन से शादी करा दें, ठीक है? फिर उस जनरेशन में जहाँ पे दोनों ही नहीं पढ़े हुए, उनका क्या फाइनेंशियल इकोनॉमिक एम्पावरमेंट होगी, या वो कहाँ से पैसे कमा सकते हैं? सो द अदर इंस्टेंस दैट हैपेंड, Aisha will remember that, that in that training that we did, the screenshot that I shared with you in the morning, focus it and it says deaf, not dumb. Why? Because we wanted them to have that self-confidence और वो एक छोटी सी एडवोकेसी कैंपेन की थी यार, कुछ भी नहीं किया था उसमें, right? I don't know sign language other than a couple of, signs, which Aisha will, I'll make sure that we do a little bit of it today, because it really puts up a spark on the faces of people if you communicate, if you say this to them, right? Or if you do this for them, right? And you can pick out these tiny cues और अपनी society में इसी तरीके से आप उसको शुरू करें. The instance that I wanted to tell you was कि एक बच्चे ने हमसे कहा था, आयशा उस ट्रेनिंग में, if you remember, educated guy, married to a girl who had also done her bachelor's, both of them struggling and thinking, how are we going to make ends meet, हम कैसे पैसे कमा सकते हैं. The guy was working at a branch. He said, my problem is if you can solve this for me. And we said, what is your problem? And he said, मेरे पास ATM कार्ड है, मैं उसको एक्टिवेट नहीं करा सकता. How do you have to activate an ATM card? आयशा बताना नहीं है क्या करना पड़ता है ATM कार्ड एक्टिवेट करने के लिए. इरम,
That I have the idea, so we have to call the branch, like not the branch, but the bank. And then, like after some procedure and after giving us the numbers and taking the passwords and all those things, they assign and they activate our card.
वेरिफिकेशन
Yeah,
चेक है ना.
verification.
कैसे
Yeah, and
होगा
the
वो,
rules
अब
and
डेफ
regulations,
पर्सन कैसे करेगा?
like might be they have to physically visit that branch or any head office or any bank.
Precisely, right? Precisely. आयशा, अंडरलाइन दैट इंस्टेंट के वो क्या हुआ था, और वो क्या एक रियल फॉल्ट हमें पता चली थी कि सिस्टम के अंदर क्या है.
Yeah, so this is something really common. Usually, when you are deaf and you have this debit or credit card, you cannot get it activated. Or abhi to recently there is a policy by State Bank of Pakistan, but again it is not as accessible. Still, a person with disability has to visit a bank to get his card activated, or they usually are request their siblings or to pretend as if they are them, or to make a call. And but I would say maybe this can get the job done, but I think just put yourself in their shoe for a minute, that you know these are very little things, but when you combine them all together, they lose their importance in a community and inside their mind, and we are telling them again and again that you are not that important. So you will always be dependent on people around you. So actually we are not building a system which caters to their needs. That's the real problem which we are not looking at right now. uh, Banking sector is getting to a point after the state policy by the State Bank of Pakistan. Otherwise, I think abhi bhi there are so many flaws. Even where are the interpreters? Even when you have to go to the hospital, and even when you have to go to the police station, these are the
Yeah.
basic rights one should get. Hospital mein nahi, police station pe nahi. So I think we need a very inclusive system,
and
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 yeah.
then Aisha, also it boils down to the fact कि अब हम थोड़ा सा, I would want you to tell everyone and train everyone, because I didn't know that. And I was in my 30s when, one of your sessions actually, and I did ask you, Kaisha, what are the different types of hearing disabilities that people have? What is hard of hearing? What is completely deaf? किस में हम कोई intervention करके कोई hearing aid दे के उसको बेहतर कर सकते हैं? So I want you to, just explain to everyone कि what are some of the myth busters around,
Yeah.
the deaf community.
Exactly. So we focus on three terminologies. So I would just suggest there is a medical model and then there is a social model. So I'm sorry to say, being a bioscientist myself, we have some very harsh terminology. So in a medical model, they are all hearing impaired under the category. Okay, but that's quite offensive. And as per the policy of the UN for the person with rights, person right of the person with disabilities, we should not be calling them hearing impaired. So don't call them specially able as well. I would just say deaf, call deaf individual deaf because they're always proud of their identity. And then they take ownership too. So they are deaf, but don't use the word dumb, like as Noor said. Then okay, so deaf individuals, their means of communication, like is sign language. They rely on their hands to communicate, and of course the body language and the facial expression. So make sure your facial expression is right while you are talking. It shouldn't be offensive and you're not making angry faces. And then we have individuals with partial hearing loss. We call them hard of hearing. So hard of hearing individuals, they wear hearing aids to help them to, hear clearly. But of course, still they struggle to understand after the speech therapy and everything. So they rely on your lips to read. For example, if I am talking, so they would be reading my lips. But if you know somebody is hard of hearing, so do turtle talk. We say that talk loudly and slowly. Don't, because I know I speak very fast. But of course, when I'm talking to my siblings, so COVID was a time when it was so hard for me to talk to my brothers, because I was wearing a mask and they were like, I don't know what you are saying. Remove the mask, remove the mask. Again, the communication barrier was there. It was so hard for us to communicate during that time. And I realized if this keeps on going, it would be so hard. We had like few transparent masks, and we tried to develop as well, but it wasn't a success because of the, the उसके ऊपर एक fog सी आ जाती थी, तो we couldn't make it possible. But anyways, so and again, there are individuals who are deafened. Deafened are the individuals who are hearing by birth, and but later on, due to some accident or age factor, they lose their hearing ability over the period of the time. So the major terminologies are deaf and hard of hearing. So one part of the community rely on sign language, and hard of hearing community, even they know sign language as well. It depends on the level of hearing loss. If it's very profound, बहुत ज़्यादा है, so they should know. I think हमारे यहाँ, like honestly, sign language is something which is like a taboo or something. I still know a lot of mothers who do not allow their daughters to communicate with themselves when they are in the market. It doesn't look nice. People are looking at us. But my brothers and I, we always took a pride in communicating. We used to go out and we intentionally communicate in sign language, and we can badmouth a person if we don't like him. In our own language. So, is this? I think for us it was fun, and it has been a journey of true. And it also depends on how you look at the problems around you. If my parents, honestly, my parents are not literate. This is something coming from the core of my heart. That if ever they would have told my siblings, first thing they did, they never told my siblings Aisha is better than you just because I'm hearing. No, my brothers have always been better than me, because my eldest brother, I told you, is good with numbers, so he used to be the one teaching me maths and everything. And he still is very good with finance and everything. And then, of course, my youngest brother has his own set of qualities. My parents never told them, like, that discrimination never happened just because I'm hearing. So I am capable of doing important tasks and you can manage the rest of the tasks. No, it was like it was equally distributed among us. And the second thing is that they never told us, like, we should be ashamed of who we are as a coda, as a deaf person, who my father is. So this is something that was ingrained in me from a very early. So whenever I used to go in my new classroom, a person sitting right, something, I know sign language and I used to communicate. During that time, I was pitching my family all the time, going to different places, and I used to enjoy it. Like I used to find it like a very unique superpower as a kid that I have. I know sign language. And yeah, and this was, I would love to take everyone's input too. I don't know how much time we have, but I
We
can go.
do. We're good on time. We have around 30 minutes. But Aisha, there's one more thing that I wanted to, um, speak about, the societal aspect of this. So there are not many, if at all, special schools in Pakistan, to be honest. Let's just address the elephant in the room. राइट अगर हम ये कहते हैं कि नहीं यार हुकूमत को कुछ करना चाहिए या हुकूमत को स्पेशल स्कूल्स बनाने चाहिए, वो 1.3 मिलियन यानी 13 लाख लोगों के लिए who are scattered all over the country in a country as big as ours, when people look at well business models, उनके लिए वो कोई अच्छा खास impactful business model नहीं है. But I remember another story from the same cohort that we did. And there was a guy there who said that I was okay and I was confident in my skin going to a normal kid's school as long as he was hard of hearing. So he could read lips and then tell and then make his own notes and try to learn that way. और उसने कहा कि वो जो टीचर होती थी ना क्लास में, उनको मेरे अम्मा बा ने भी बताया हुआ था, सबने बाकियों ने बताया हुआ था कि आपने जो बात करनी है, लेक्चर देना है, वो क्लास की तरफ मुंह मोड़ के देना है. And that teacher would somewhat on purpose, perhaps, we don't know, but would turn her back on the class and then keep talking. और उस थोड़ी सी ड्यूरेशन में उस बच्चे को वो कनेक्ट ही नहीं कर सकता था कि आखिरी चीज मिस ने क्या पढ़ाई थी और अगली चीज क्या पढ़ाई थी, in which he would miss out on what was being shared. अब ये sensitivity का level है, right? So what we really want all of you to start thinking about, whether it's the deaf community, whether it's the blind community, whether it's people who are wheelchair bound, जहाँ पे concept वही है inclusion का हर एक community पे, but what are we doing as a nation to create more sensitivity around the topic? I'll give you another practical example, which I experienced, and I don't think I've shared this with Aisha even. I was at a grocery store और बेकरी के सेक्शन में रो में जिस तरह लोग खड़े होते हैं अपनी बारी का वेट कर रहे होते हैं, तो एक अंकल अपना कोई ऑर्डर दे रहे थे कि मुझे स्प्रिंग रोल दे दो, मुझे ये वाले बंस दे दो, ये वाले बंस दे दो, ये वाले बंस पैक कर के. Now he was not pointing, he was just saying, right? And I was waiting for my turn on the side. तो उन्होंने एक दफा बोला, अब वो बच्चा जो आगे था, really young kid, must be like 16 17 year old, he was confused, but वो कह नहीं सक रहा था कि वो सुन नहीं सकता, right? और अंकल ने दोबारा रिपीट किया कि यार मैं तुम्हें कह रहा हूँ ना, ये दो ये दो ये दो. तो he was blank, right? He was trying to figure out, वो point कर रहा था खुद. That's when it clicked to me. If I have not had this conversation in a setup like this, you guys, trust me, मैंने भी शायद उन्हीं अंकल की तरह रिएक्ट करती कि यार तुम मेरी बात क्यों नहीं सुन रहे ना. बट वो सेंसिटिविटी हम में से आएगी, taking these small steps. You guys, that kid could not hear, right? So I told that man, who was very offended at me as well, कि why did I interject, but I told him कि वो सुन नहीं सकता, आप point करके बता दें कि क्या है. And then in the end, Aisha, he packed the order. I gave him my order by pointing it to him कि one of this one, this one, this one, right? This is the basic sign language. And when I left him, he smiled and I said,
Thank you.
thank you. That's it. And he had a huge smile on his face. ये देखो छोटी सी चीज है जो कि अगर वो अबे खाओ के ट्रक पे मैं ना गई हुई होती, वो पोस्टर ना देखा होता, तो मुझे शायद ये बेसिक साइन लैंग्वेज भी ना समझ में आती. Zainab has something to say, and I'm just sharing practical examples with you guys because अब you might recall कि आपने भी शायद ये कभी नोटिस किया हो या आपने कभी देखा हो कि इस तरह का कुछ हो रहा है, या आगे जाके शायद आप एक्सपीरियंस करें, so you would know how to react and how to be sensitive enough कि हम सोसाइटी में शायद वो एक कुछ चीज को डिफरेंटली कर सकते हैं. Go ahead, Zainab.
Yeah, I just, since we are
Can't
sharing
hear
this
you.
thing- Oh, can you hear me now?
Closer, yes.
So, normally what I felt is कि I think we are in an age, like all of us, since we're all are, I think, around 16 to 20 years old, most of us, we are exposed to. So normally you would see a lot of the times the reels aati hain that make you so emotional. Okay, oh, like there's a deaf guy at a supermarket. Someone said thank you to him, just like you did with sign language, and or there's a blind woman trying to cross the road, and someone you saw helped them. And then हम रील को देख के बहुत खुश हो जाते हैं. But I feel that it's so unfortunate that we see these things online and we get emotional over them. We're like, oh my God, he's such a nice person. And we do pretty much the exact opposite when these things happen to us. And I'm just gonna take very practical examples again. If you guys go to Dolmen Mall, you guys have probably seen के जो बाहर parking lot है, parking lot में they have deaf people over there who will guide you towards the car and everything. And I'm so like I don't even know how to put this, but I am appalled by the amount of rudeness and disrespect that we show to this community. And it's so sad that we see that in adults. Maybe उनको इतना मतलब एजुकेट नहीं किया था उनके टाइम पे जब वो पढ़ रहे थे या वो स्कूल्स में थे, बट अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हम सब लोग इस एज में हैं and we are blessed to be in an era where we know about these things. We know that there are deaf people, there are blind people who are working, and they deserve the exact same respect that we would give a normal person who would be guiding us in a parking lot. It disappoints me sometimes to see adults doing that. But then again, I feel like since we are in such an age and we have these opportunities to learn about these things, it is on us to at least cultivate an environment of respect. I mean, besides being a nation or anything, I think as humans as well, as kids at least, we have the ability right now to change that. Our generation, when we get older, we don't have to do the same things. That's what was on my mind. I thought I would, just tell everyone that we don't have to be like that. We can definitely change that.
Thank you for sharing that, Zainab. And I would just add one single line. I think you do not need to be educated to be nice to. I think one element that we need as a community is empathy. And I think we really
Absolutely,
sometimes
yeah.
it doesn't matter based on the kind of disability, or even though other person doesn't have any sort of disability, but having like empathy is so important. As a community, we need to work on that. Yeah, Noor is showing Fazans. Noor, you're making me hungry.
Yeah, I just wanted everybody to think, because every time we met with Fazan, this is Fazan, you guys. This is Aisha's younger brother, the co-founder of A Big Cow. And the little boy that you see here is Aisha's nephew, who can hear perfectly well. Mashallah.
He's a coda too. His
He's a
mother
coda
is.
too, but you can see him, do the signs so well. What I wanted to actually, why I wanted you to share or show you guys this was that with Fizan, obviously it's you guys, I mean, all the boys here who are here. आई मीन इमेजिन करो ना कि हम सिर्फ लड़कियों की बात करते हैं, कि लोग लड़कियों के जी रंग के ऊपर बात करते हैं, बालों के ऊपर बात करते हैं, एक्नी के ऊपर बात करते हैं, वजन के ऊपर बात करते हैं, ठीक है, बालों के ऊपर बात करते हैं, whatever societal constructs we have, guys also have their own struggles, to be honest, right? And let's include them also as part of this conversation. So with Fazan, he always had, these moments. He's young, and we said, what else can he do? So Aisha के साथ उसने आयशा ने इसको push किया कि why don't you love cooking, right? You're a foodie, so why don't you start making your own content, and you check out this content. And I've just shown you a few glimpses of this. See how nicely it is done, right? And there's music at the background, and he does this, really nice, and it takes a lot of effort, right? In shorts ko karna or either karna, or iska ek talent hai. This is something that I wanted to show you guys, कि उसने अपनी mental health को fix करने के लिए he started doing this, really looking forward. फिर इसकी कभी वीडियो नहीं आती थी, मैं आयशा से पूछती थी क्या हुआ है, अब महीना हो गया इसकी कोई वीडियो क्यों नहीं आ रही, is he okay? right? And we would go and tell him I tried one of his recipes. These are the kind of zero paise laga supports that we can do to anyone, है ना? Like
That's
just
true.
ensuring that he gets like a better reach, or just starts making money from a social media outlet, right? Because that is something that's supporting him. um and it's just so nice for me to see this कि उसने एक अपना देखो, एक अपनी उसकी एक world है. This got hacked, by the way. um Aisha, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, but we got it back. It
But
was
we
a
got it
miracle.
back. It was at 18K, I think, when you and I met at a grocery store again, where you told me it has
No.
gotten hacked, right?
Yeah, we got it back after 1 month. So, but it was near 50K, but we lost some of the audience because it was a bit inactive for some time.
Yeah. But like I want you guys to, just go through the feed um and see the kind of comments, and they're from all across the world, you guys. एक
Especially
ऐसी चीज
India.
जो कि इतनी
Hmm.
यूनिवर्सली एक्सेप्टेबल है, और जहाँ पे हम इसके ऊपर एक्चुअल रियल काम कर सकते हैं, that's there. Just vary of time. I want to discuss a taboo topic here, okay? Aisha, I haven't taken your permission, but I think you'll be okay because I'll word it in a different package. The biggest another taboo that we have is जो deaf community को बहुत ज़्यादा face करना पड़ता है, which is with regards to कि अच्छा यार अब intermarriages अगर इनकी होंगी, yeah, with people who can hear. So what are we gonna do? The kids are gonna be उस पे तो chances बड़े ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे, खुदा न खास्ता कि आगे बच्चा भी deaf हो. But why खुदा न खास्ता is what my question is, right? Am I making sense what I'm trying to say in not so many words, right? So if there's a deaf couple, Aisha is a coda, but she can talk, right? Aisha's chotu nephew is a coda, but he can talk too. But then there's so many other normal people who have kids who have thalassemia, who have kids that are born with, let's say, blindness in genetic. So many kids who are born autistic. So many kids who over a period of time are gonna have some kind of autoimmune. So इस पे I want Aisha just growing up as a coda. इस वाली ये जो society की चीज है, what kind of impact does it have on a coda? And you can choose to be as open or as closed on this topic because I didn't take your
Yeah.
permission. But
No,
we're all
it's like,
adults here, all 18 above, hopefully, or
yeah.
even closer to 18. But I think this is a conversation that we need to have.
So for me, honestly, when as a coda or as a person with hearing loss, or either you're deaf or hearing, and even if you're a coda, we don't see people with hearing loss as if they are missing out on something. If they have the right skill set and capabilities, we do accept them. Like, even if I would find a guy and he has some hearing loss and he have all the right skill set and capabilities, I wouldn't say no. Then that's what my brother had to face. So my brother is hard of hearing. So hard of hearing individuals, they can speak. My brother is a coda too. When he got married to a deaf individual, so even I wouldn't go beyond. One of the person from our own relative, he said something so mean. We have so many individuals in our family who already have this issue, and you are bringing in more. And that was the meanest thing I've ever heard in my life. And then it's so hard. Even while growing up, my mother, she is not literate, but I'm so blessed to have her. She has never been into being a girl. I know how we struggle in life to navigate. I was never a kind of a girl who has ever been forced to get married just out of social pressure. I can proudly say that I'm 32 years old right now. So, um, this is very personal information, but I don't mind sharing it with you. But because feel like, because I think I have worked for the inclusivity for the past, ever since I guess I was born, starting from interpreting it for my own parents to, launching a venture with my own siblings. And of course, there was a time moment when a lot of other people really get concerned about either, as an individual you are married or not, and they were like, अच्छा सिर्फ आपको आवाज आती है मैं कहा जी और बाकी किसी को नहीं आती मैं कहा नहीं और किसी को नहीं आती सो फॉर मी दैट वाज ऑलवेज अ फिल्टर टू आइडेंटिफाई ये बंदा कैसा है ये इसकी पर्सनालिटी कैसा है मैं नूर को ये कहती थी मेरे लिए तो दिस इज अ फिल्टर जिसने whosoever wants to accept me. So I can proudly share that my fiance is um he has profound hearing loss, but he is doing his postdoc from university in US, and he is a mechanical engineer. So he's an amazing person, and I don't know, I found him out of nowhere, and I'm telling you that because I don't look at him with that lens, and I'm now very few people in my, even you guys are getting this knowledge even before my relatives. The only reason I'm sharing it with you that because I know I'm not gonna get a good response, but we broke a lot of stereotypes being a part of, and this is what we think is our responsibility. We don't think what other people think about us because we are so much clear in our mind what is inclusion. If we are, I'm saying we are equal, then I have to, you know, follow my words to just to get the grants and just to present my face in front of few stakeholders. I can't say we are all equal, but we have to, we have to implement it too in our lives, and this is how the change starts. Yeah, I don't know. It went very deep. Anyways.
Yeah, no, but thank you so much for sharing that. But um, I did want to address this because ये देखो ये वाली जो essentially जो thinking है is what you guys now know is there's a statement to it, right? पहले हमें नहीं पता था कुछ साल पहले के generational trauma क्या होता है. But now we are getting we have a statement, right, to identify what's happening to us. So why are we not letting go of the old stereotypes to just build up something that is new. और हमें ज्यादा दूर नहीं जाना पड़ेगा अगर I'll tell you when I was uh, pitching or routing for Aisha to come in and um, start a food truck like a proper food truck, and we were supposed to park it at an educational institute, right? So I had a lot of backlash. I'll be very honest with you, and I got some statements like अच्छा अभी इसने यूनिवर्सिटी में हमारी जो है वो गूंगों को खड़ा करा देना है. I heard that from very educated, very elite people around me, right? Um, and the concept was that she and I we sat down and we did the costing, and we said कि यार अगर हम हफ्ते में 2 दिन ऑपरेट करते हैं तो हमें इतने पैसे बचते हैं, अगर 3 दिन करते हैं तो इतने पैसे बचते हैं, अगर 3 दिन हमारे पास वो फूड ट्रक आता है, एक जगह पार्क होता है, तो हम इतने एक्स नंबर ऑफ डेफ पीपल को उसमें जॉब्स दे सकते हैं, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी आवर ब्रेक इवन. समटाइम्स आप गोली मारे, समटाइम्स क्या कि लोग आपके बारे में क्या कह रहे हैं, ठीक है. This, by the way, Aisha is hearing for the first time. She doesn't know about this. I'm pretty sure that maybe I'm not too sure, Aisha, but does the food truck still go there and get parked there? Don't take the name.
No, we don't. I'll tell you the
Okay.
story later,
See,
but it was our own choice. Yeah.
yeah, but that's fine. But for the X number of years that it did go there,
It
and I
created a huge.
did take a bullet for it कि हाँ जी आ रहे हैं जी गूंगे, ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है मेरे पे आ जाएं, ठीक है. That's my initiative because I was in power then and I could do that. कर लें. It's not gonna have any impact, you guys, trust me. on your own personal thing. I am here sitting down 3 years later, sharing this story with you as a proud moment as to what people said to me. उस वक्त शायद मुझे नफरत हो रही है उन सारे लोगों से, but as it turned out, that is going to be a positive reflection of the people that were around you that were not worth it. And if you were able
Mhm.
to create that tiny dent in the society to do something positive, उस पे फिर हसीब को अगर थोड़ा सा 2-4 रिश्तेदार लोग इधर से कोई बातें करते हैं, हरीमा से कहते हैं तो बात ही नहीं सुनती, अपनी मर्जी की मालिक है, हमारा ने तो कभी जिंदगी में किसी को लिफ्ट ही नहीं कराई, अनस doesn't care what the world thinks, it's okay, doesn't matter. Small tiny baby steps. Questions, Aisha? There's one
I'm
from
looking in
Anas.
the
Anas,
chat
go
box.
ahead, unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah. Yeah, Anas, I read.
Can
Go
you hear me?
ahead.
Basically, this
Yeah.
I'm in a
Hmm.
restaurant right now, so there's a lot of noise in the background. Basically, I just typed.
Okay.
I think it's
Okay.
clear. So, like, I was just asking, okay, what's one thing we
Hmm.
can all start doing right now to be more inclusive in our everyday life?
Yeah.
And
I
second
would just.
was what?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And second
Go
was
ahead.
what basically help you stay confident and like keep going when people underestimated you or did not understand your
Hmm.
needs.
I think one thing that sort of anyone can do by just sitting and just to learn basic sign language, how to say how are you, how to say thank you, the basic words.
Can we
Just
do that? Can we learn that, Aisha, before you
yeah,
go to Hasib?
yeah. So this
Can
is
we
how
all
we
do
say
that? Hold on,
thank
we'll have
you.
to record this. Hold on, just give me a second. I want to take a video so that I can send it to you guys later. That we're all doing it. More camera, the better it is. Go.
Okay. So hand or you on your chins, and this is how you say thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you. And then this is welcome. Okay. So this is for both. And then okay, I have to move up. And then this is how are you? How are you? So how are you? So a lot of signs are, are very similar to what we do. Like this is food, this is water. Like you do guys already are doing it. You just don't know it's sign language, but it's legit sign language, but it's just and it varies from culture to culture. We have PSL, Pakistan Sign Language, American Sign Language, British Sign Language, but international sign language, but it is so easy to access the videos and everything on internet. Just learn the basics and try to be extra considerate and sensitize individuals around to be extra careful and considerate. I think
There's one
Hasib,
more that I like the best.
which one? This okay, so we don't clap in sign language, so we do this. So this
Applaud.
is our clapping. Yeah, you can say that in sign language. So I think Hasib, you can go next. You're mute.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear.
So I want to ask that you being a coda, what is the most proudest moment which you are really proud of being a coda? Can you, if you could share
Hmm.
that, please?
I
It's a
think
good
my
one.
mother, she was in the kitchen. We had in our previous house, we had this open kitchen. So my mother is also a part of our team. She looks after the kitchen part, the in-house kitchen where the we have like KNN's vehicle coming in. The chicken is being delivered and marinated, and she looks after that part. So we have this camera within our food truck, and we didn't install the camera to monitor our staff. We installed the camera because we had few bad incidences with our staff, just to have that proof with us. So my mother saw, there is someone at the truck. It looks like President Arif Alvi. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why would he come to our truck? So, and I had a meeting with like President Arif Alvi and Samina Alvi 2 days back. It was that time, and we were featured at Reuters International. It's a big deal. We never knew that it was a big deal. We were a bit naive at that point. And then when my mother said, Aisha, I think it's actually Arif Alvi. And when she saw, and so it was an iPad right near the kitchen, corner of the kitchen. And when I was like, oh, it is so, and then we had to rush to the truck. And that was a moment my youngest brother, he cried a lot. And my parents, they were so proud that, the president, the status of the president is like, is very uh, respectable when he himself is visiting. And they sat outside the truck without even, worrying about the security and everything. There was no rangers and stuff. They were so calm and having, and then my team asked them, what would you like? And they even had the food without giving it a second thought, कि पता नहीं कैसा होगा, क्या होगा. And that was the proudest moment for us, that they genuinely like the food and they appreciate the idea. And my parents, they loved it. And the next day, we were further featured. And I think that was the proudest moment for me as a coda, to to get the recognition, especially for my team, and because this is our family initiative. I would say there are so many. It's a hard question, but yeah, I mentioned one. Yeah.
So this is a little throwback
Oh.
from you. Amara, go ahead. I thought I'll share these pictures. I keep looking at them once
I
in a
would,
while.
sorry.
Go ahead, Amara.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to share something. Like we had a special children's school that was affiliated with our school, so we were
Mhm.
used to visit them on just special days and like that. So what I saw was they, the teachers, they were used to show us that these children are just doing like the house making things, like they were making decoration pieces, and they were doing stitching, and they were doing embroidery. And uh, like very sorry, but that's a very harsh term that I were used to thought that the like deaf people, they are very mentally retarded, so they can't do anything. But after this session, like I was never exposed to such things के मुझे पता चलता कि ये ऐसे भी मतलब काम कर रहे हैं. तो I just really wanted to thank you, to let me know. Whereas exposure
Mm.
that.
No, I think every session, and this is how we create an impact little by little. I would still, encourage all of you to watch movie Coda. It's like a true interpretation of not only of a life of a Coda. It's about how deaf individuals live their life and how the struggle they go through every. I wish I had a better movie or video to show you, but yeah. I think it's Harima. Yeah. And now we have Dua too. Sorry. Maybe anyone can
First of
go
all,
first.
I want to say that your journey is very inspiring.
Thank
And
you.
next, I wanted to say that did you face any challenges while running your platform, and how did you overcome them? And my second question is that as young students, uh, we want to create an impact, and some many of us wish to support deaf communities, but we don't know how or where to start. So, what advice do you have?
Hmm. Challenges were a lot. I think the food trucking model, there is no policy for it. So we were faced, the encroachment team, the CDA, and, we were looking for a legal pathway for it. And this is one of the reasons we couldn't expand prior to having two food trucks in a row. That was despite of pitching it at global platforms. It was a harsh reality we had to face. But again, instead of just taking a setback and not doing something further, EdDef was born, and EdDef is serving the community in a lot better way, but in a way that it is more impactful. because we do not require a physical setup. We are training them and getting them employed elsewhere. So we are working on their skill building. So I think I thoroughly, this is for you guys too. Don't marry your startup. Even if it's not working out, enjoy the journey, learn from it, and then, pivot as soon as you feel like it's not working. So a big cow later, after a big cow, EdDef was the turning point based on the need of the market. And of course we are focused on the impact. So of course money making is a very important part to make your business sustainable. But you also need to think कि पूरा साल हो गया, कितने लोगों को रोजगार मिला, कितना impact आया. If that figure is not growing, don't marry your startup. Pivot the idea to the small test run in the form of projects and start scaling on the side way. And I think this is what worked for me after facing a lot of setback. We couldn't unfortunately expand a big how to that extent. We are not giving up on it. It's just the harsh reality we have to face while we are in Pakistan. But again, we have a platform we through which we are serving the community. And yeah, dua.
Okay,
Thing
well,
to add in here, sorry, Dua, just give me one more second to what Harima is asking, कि आप कैसे help कर सकते हैं, ठीक है?
Oh yes, I missed that part.
Yeah. So that bit
Hmm,
also,
thank you.
Aisha, I can give some ideas, but you go ahead.
Yeah, I think you can help the community, in very different ways. Give, for example, if you have anyone in your ecosystem, okay, if first of all sensitize their parents. For example, now you know the platform like EdDev, a big how. We have other platforms too that सबसे बड़ा जो मसला I face every day, I have to make hundreds of calls to parents just to let them know to let their daughters go out and attend the training. They deserve equal importance. And and they were like कि आप हमें पैसे cover करेंगे. I was like, I'm gonna cover each and every cost for it, but just let them go out and learn and have this training. And usually सबसे बड़ा मसला होता है वो community से ज़्यादा ना उनके parents का होता है कि उनको ऐसा लगता है कि किसी चीज़ के काबिल नहीं है. I'm sorry to say it's not with every parent, but majority जब जिनके पास who are experiencing having a deaf kid for the very first time, यहाँ पे you need to tell their parents they are equally good. And if you know any family, and later on with the community, try to converse them, become friends with, just let's say Noor is living in at XYZ location, and in her neighborhood there is a deaf individual who moved right in, moved with Noor would, if you want to be a responsible person, so Noor would make 100% effort to interact with that individual. Once in a while, sit with that individual and try to communicate and converse. And this way, you will learn sign language too. So it's all about giving importance and sharing the resources. You can learn this from this place or that place. It's not that difficult. Yeah.
Go ahead, Dua.
Well, my question is quite similar than what Harima asked, but I want to be more specific about challenges. I wanted to ask you that did your business, the food truck, face any problems in selling the food just because people did not wanted to buy from someone who was deaf, or maybe because they had to put an extra effort into telling and explaining what they want.
I think majorly everybody loves the food. You can go on Google and check the reviews. But there was one time it happened when we were doing the pilot phase. So there was this guy who was crazy, He just came and he said, are they pretending to be deaf or they actually can speak? I don't believe they all are deaf. And he was literally snubbing them. And that was the moment I realized what on earth is like he's thinking right now. And I need to get him, make him go away as soon as possible. I said, if you don't want to buy, you don't want to buy, just go. But don't, act like that. And he was like, no, I'm still not sure. You are making money out of it. And he said so many mean things. And I'm like, we still have individuals who think like that. And my team kept on telling them, we cannot speak, we cannot speak. I'm like, don't tell him, he is retarded now. I'm like, isko chhod do. So it's like, okay, so my brother did something really funny. Thank you. So there was this guy, again, one incident where this guy come. So he came exactly at our outlet or the truck. I don't remember that exactly. So he asked everyone that you all cannot speak. So they all said no, we cannot speak. And very proudly, we cannot, with the very beautiful smiles on their face. And then he should have like, okay, good, good. So he said astaghfirullah. No? So my brother got really offended. He didn't like it. So he was there at that. I'm talking about Fizan. So my brother, he went up there on the counter. What he did, so he asked him, since he is hard of hearing, so he can like talk. Do you know sign language? So he's like, no, I don't like. So I don't know sign language. I don't know how to communicate. He said, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, just to make him understand. You are also missing out on our language. He was so pissed at him. So we do face attitudinal barrier, हम इसको कहते हैं, a lot of times because of the lack of awareness, lack of sensitization. But in particular, there wasn't a moment when people were skeptical about buying a food. हाँ, they used to struggle initially कि डर जाते थे समझ, फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता I think Abik how earned the name so quickly within the town कि लोगों को पता था, they used to go. And my team is so nice. Noor knows that they just make you feel comfortable. वो खुद कहते हैं, if you don't know how to communicate, क्या चाहिए, ये चाहिए, ये चाहिए. So they try to converse and make you feel comfortable before even you start talking and figuring out what to do.
And I guess also I think आपकी टीम ने जो है वो बहुत सारी चीजें अपने अपने लिए tweak भी कर ली हैं. So they realize that in that space, right, they are not the ones who are differently abled. वो आप डिफरेंटली एबल्ड है ना, बिकॉज वो सारे तो साइन लैंग्वेज में वो बात करते हैं एंड बहुत अच्छे तरीके से बात करते हैं. बट देन for some reason, like, you'd feel that oops, there's something wrong with me that I can't, like, communicate in sign language, which is why I showed you the truck और उसका जो पोस्टर था, ताकि आप वहां से ही immediately pick करके, if you're saying hello or if you're saying thank you or if you're saying one or two. So उन्होंने कुछ अपने लिए tools भी बना लिए हैं. So for example, अगर एक burger आपने लिया है और आपका change इतना बनता है, so Aisha's kids would have like a calculator in their hand and they'll quickly tick 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 करके बता देंगे, अच्छा, we owe you 150 back. So they have taken these means और उन्होंने बेसिक जो टूल्स हैं उनको अपने लिए वर्क कराया हुआ है. Another thing that, along the lines of what can we do and how can we help, this is perhaps not something which might be completely relevant to this fellowship, but we are running a parallel fellowship which is the Gen AI fellowship. और AI के अंदर जो tools हैं उसके अंदर, there's a lot that is being done to make products and make apps कह ले उनको, but वो products जो कि actually enable करेंगे deaf community को include करने के लिए. Like for example, I can give you one example जहाँ पे a big issue was identified, that how do you communicate in a building, how do you communicate that there is a fire. अब वो फायर अलार्म तो ऑन हो जाएगा, जो लोग सुन सकते हैं वो तो इमीडिएटली सुन के और भागेंगे और इवैक्यूएट करेंगे, राइट. इट कुड बी फॉर एनी अदर इमरजेंसी, राइट. इट कुड बी फॉर एग्जांपल फ्लैश फ्लड्स की इमरजेंसी की वार्निंग अगर हो तो सायरन ही बजता है ना. So these kids, as part of the Gen AI fellowship, they said that no, we are going to develop an app which is going to have the details of all the deaf people who want to like sign up onto the app, and it would be free, and then their phones are going to start flashing and vibrating, right. So that's like a proper solution, and you could visualize it कि वो किस तरीके से डेफ कम्युनिटी के जो लोग हैं वो उस फैसिलिटी का, या कोई भी इमरजेंसी होती है, कोई ब्रेक इन होता है, तो वो किस तरीके से कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं. इफ इट्स नॉट विद the lips, then how else can they communicate. I think if there are no questions, we have run a little bit over time, you guys. But I like Aisha to say some final words. And meanwhile, बाकी सारे लोग अब ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ के लिए कैमरा खोल सकते
कैमरा
हैं
ऑन
तो
कर
बिल्कुल खोल लें. But Aisha, I'll
हम्म।
let you have some final words on anything that you would want to advise these kids, these fellows. They're going to be working on their task, which is around inclusive communities. So go ahead.
I think I usually whenever I'm doing a session, because those of you who do not know, I'm also managing the Lincoln Corners in Pakistan. So currently, I'm looking after few districts from Muzaffarabad to Lahore. I guess this is such an amazing lot we have. Usually the audience is so dead. I'm so sorry. So my coordinators, they used to complain a lot, but I love the energy of this session. So this is the first thing I noticed, that everybody is so much, and this is I believe this is the hope that it really well, it always makes me feel that we do have people in our community who want to make a change around us, and who want to be that first pillar, I would say, to bring the change. And you all have very important role to play in the community. Whenever you're going to interact with the deaf community, you all can reach out to me whenever there is a deaf individuals in your community circle. Whenever he needs help and guidance, you can always reach out to me. And yeah, and do try to converse and communicate. That's the key when you try to uh, you know uh, make them feel comfortable and included. And yeah, try to learn, make a little effort to learn their language. It's not gonna take a lot of time, trust me on that. And whenever we're gonna do any sign language training session, we can plan on that too as well, Noor. And I'll be in a different time zone, but we can plan on
I think
something that.
Zainab's dreams are coming true because she has been after me that she wants to do a sign language session. So I let her take the lead on that one as well. But thank you so much, Aisha. Zainab, any
Thank you for
final
having
words
me.
from your end?
Yeah, I just because obviously we're running out of time. First of all, thank you so much, Ma'am Aisha, for joining us. We're very, very honored to have you back. Last year's session was amazing, and this year again it was amazing as well. And as always, it's always, just such a pleasure to hear from you. I actually, I still follow your brother, so I'm always looking at, the videos he posts and everything, and it always just reminds me of you and the session that we had.
Oh,
So I was
hmm.
really, really excited to have this again this year. Inshallah, next year again, we would like to have you. And the sign language
Thank
camp
you.
thing, I was so enthusiastic for it last year as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that for logistic reasons, but
Hmm.
this year I'm really hoping that we can do something even with the cohort we have now.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. So thank you so much. You're doing incredible work. You are an
Thank
inspiration
you.
for all of us. You continue to be
Thank you
one.
so much.
So thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys for joining. I really hope that you understand what I said in the beginning, that don't treat this as a task, at least for us as well, even for the team, but even for you guys, it should not just be a task. You're doing something much bigger than that. You are literally trying to understand a whole community. So that's a big, big thing on its own. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining. Um, and we'll see you in the next
Absolutely. Aisha, no,
session.
thank you so much. And we wish you all the best in the future as well. I know you're flying out, and we wish you all the best for both sides of your future, personal and
Thank
professional.
you. Thank you
And
so much.
yeah, absolutely. Ideas coming in. The rest of you, if you want to open up your cameras, this is the last bit, last announcement before we take the group photograph. On the count of 3, 2, 1.
We can do
सबसे
thumbs
पहले
up.
बिलाल अपने बाल सेट करते हैं. Okay,
Maybe
we're
we
gonna
can do thank you. Or
yeah,
maybe
we're gonna do a couple of things, Aisha. So hold on, give me 1 second. We're gonna first applaud for Aisha for giving her time. So let's do it the sign language way. Okay, wonderful. On the sides, great. Thank you. And let's take the picture then on the count of 3, 2, Give me 1 second. Smile, everyone. Okay, that's one. Do we want a thumbs up one as well? Okay.
Everybody is so tired.
There we go. Super. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Aisha. And the next plans are that I think your task would be up now for the next task. So don't worry about it. If you're not, if you're a bit late on your first task, don't overthink. Just get done with the task. It's all a learning curve. Lena here is observing your tasks as well, and she's gonna put it up into a report for each one of you. When you see the report, you're gonna be excited. So she needs all of your tasks so that, you know, she could compile them and put them together for you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the night, evening, and thank you so much. Thank you, Aisha.
Thank you. Love is everyone.
Hafiz.